The Old Man and the Sea, part 23, second part of that 23. It encouraged him to talk because his back had stiffened in the night, and it hurt truly now. Remember, if you have a stiff neck, you went to bed and you slept in a different position, and now your neck is stiff, which is just another way to say hard. It encouraged him to talk because his back had stiffened in the night and it hurt truly now. "Stay at my house if you like, bird," he said. "I am sorry I cannot hoist the sail." Remember, if you hoist the sail, like you can hoist a flag, right? "I'm sorry I cannot hoist the sail and take you in with the small breeze that is rising. But I am with a friend." Just then, the fish gave a sudden lurch, like that pulled the old man down onto the bow and would have pulled him overboard if he had not braced himself and given some line. Guys, I really need you people to try to picture those things, okay? So when we tell people, I don't know if I've put it in these words, you know, but the purpose of these videos is teaching people how to read, you know, and I'm doing the same thing in the other channel called Thiago Conda Jéssica e Literatura, to teach people how to read in Portuguese, right? And sometimes, you know, people say, "But come on, we know how to read." Not always, you know. We still have to learn how to read. We still have to learn to have discipline, not to ignore scenes like that, all right? So remember, you are learning how to read. I'm learning how to read when I get to great books like that, all right? So it's extremely important that you try to picture it. So let's picture it together, right? Just then, the fish gave a sudden lurch. So remember, here you have the spare, here you have this side, here you have the spare coils of line, here you have the pull of the fish, and the old man has the line across his back, so he's like this. I feel I should zoom out a little bit so you can see me better. Yeah, maybe that's better now. Okay, so just then, so he was here, right? Probably taking the strain here, talking to the bird here. That was on his line, all right? Just then, the fish gave a sudden lurch, all right? Sudden lurch that pulled the old man down onto the bow, onto that part, the front part of the boat, onto the bow, right? And would have pulled him overboard to the water, right? Like this. And he would have been pulled overboard. But what did the old man do? How inconvenient, right? During a video, the cell phone ringing. Okay. But what did the old man do? He did two things, right? He braced himself, okay? So he made himself fast, all right? And he gave some line, okay? Braced himself and given some line. If you have problems, stop the video, read the paragraph again. It's extremely important that you understand everything. You know, I know it's unrelated matter and I've been very digressive in this video, but I've heard from someone who has been studying, you know, complex stuff at university. And this person said to me, you know, something I learned is that, you know, in those complex discussions, she's doing her doctor's or master's degree, something like that. And then she told me, you know, in these complex discussions, I've learned that nobody knows exactly what is going on, right? So we just get a reference here and get a reference there, and, you know, depending on the way the conversation is going, we say something, and it works. And I remember thinking to myself, no, that's not the way you should understand stuff, you know, and talking about anything. If you can't really understand what is going on, you should do one of the following two things. You should just give up that thing, all right? And forget it. It's too complex, you are not interested. Or it's something worth studying, and then you should really study it. What is the problem? The problem is being right there in the middle. You understand, but you don't. Of course, but if you just want the title, if you, as I told you in one of these videos before, right? If you just want to tell people that you have read The Old Man and the Sea, then you can just, you know, turn the pages. You can read the summary and tell people you have read the book. Nobody will suspect, right? And when it comes to complex themes like university and etc., I know you can buy a diploma, or you can just pretend you understand everything in one of those discussions. You write something that you half understand and you will get your title, right? But that's not how things should happen, right? Okay, going back. So stop the video if you haven't been able to picture the scene, right? But if you have, let's continue. The bird had flown up when the line jerked, and the old man had not even seen him. Seen him go. He felt the line carefully with his right hand and noticed his hand was bleeding. Something hurt him then, he said aloud and pulled back on the line to see if he could turn the fish. Pull back on the line, he did like this, right? To see if he could turn the fish. But when he was touching the breaking point, he held steady and settled back against the strain of the line. "You're feeling it now, fish," he said. "And so, God knows, am I." He looked around for the bird now because he would have liked him for company. The bird was gone. "You did not stay long," the man thought, "but it's rougher where you are going until you make the shore." Because when the bird makes it to the shore, he can hide in trees and etc. But until there, "How did I let the fish cut me with that one quick pull he made? I must be getting very stupid. Or perhaps I was looking at the small bird and thinking of him. Now I will pay attention to my work, and then I must eat the tuna so that I will not have a failure of strength. I wish the boy were here and that I had some salt," he said aloud. Shifting the weight of the line to his left shoulder and kneeling carefully. Okay, if you kneel, like when you pray, you get down on your knees. And kneeling carefully, he washed his hand in the ocean and held it there, submerged for more than a minute, watching the blood trail away and the steady movement of the water against his hand as the boat moved. "He has slowed much," he said. The old man would have liked to keep his hand in the salt water longer, but he was afraid of another sudden lurch by the fish, and he stood up and braced himself and held his hand up against the sun. Because of course, if he has his hand here in the water, right, and he's holding the line with just one hand, if the fish lurches again, then it's dangerous, right? It was only a line burn that had cut his flesh, but it was in the working part of his hand. He knew he would need his hands before this was over, and he did not like to be cut before it started. "Now," he said when his hand had dried, "I must eat the small tuna. I can reach him with the gaff and eat him here in comfort." He knelt down, the past of kneel, he knelt down and found the tuna under the stern with the gaff and drew it towards him keeping it clear of the coiled lines. When you keep clear of something, you don't touch anything, right? So he didn't, of course, want the small tuna to get entangled in the lines. Holding the line with his left shoulder again, and bracing on his left hand and arm, he took the tuna off the gaff hook and put the gaff back in place. He put one knee on the fish and cut strips of dark red longitudinally from the back of the head to the tail. Sorry, I'm looking at suspiciously. It's because I'm afraid I'll have to get a third video here. But I need to tell you, guys, there is a difference between strip and stripe. If I haven't told you before, remember that a strip is something physical. So if I tear a sheet of paper, I think we've done that. If I tear a sheet of paper like this, so I have a strip, right? If I draw something here, just like the flag of the United States, then I have a stripe. That's why the flag of the United States is called Stars and Stripes, right? So he got the fish, and then he cut pieces, right, longitudinally, from the back of the head to the tail. They were wedge-shaped strips, and he cut them from next to the backbone down to the edge of the belly, the stomach of the fish. When he had cut 6 strips, he spread them on the wood of the bow, wiped his knife on his trousers, and lifted the carcass of the bonito, the name of the fish, right, of the bonito, by the tail and dropped it overboard.